Okay, welcome. This is Unit 3, Lesson 1. We are talking about the metric and imperial system. We have a few of these rulers drawn, and this time, every ruler, when you see them, these guys are in centimeters. So this is a centimeter ruler. Okay, so now each of these are centimeters. It wants us to go to the millimeter. So that means when we find our centimeter answer, we times it by 10, and that's going to give us millimeters, okay? So what we look for is we look for all of those dashes in between. All of these dashes in between, those are called increments. And what that does is it tells you what it's counting by. What is it going up by? So there's going to be 10 little increments in there. The longer one in the middle is halfway. That would be 5. So, for example, the number I'm looking at right here for the end of this drawing is going to be past the 12, and think of it as running a race. So right now, I've gone past the number 12. Here's 12.5, and now I'm to the very last notch, or the last increment before the next number. The last increment will be a 9, of course. So this guy would be 12.9 centimeters. Now we got to times them by 10 to give us 129 millimeters. Okay, so we got to get the centimeters, times it by 10 to get the millimeters. We look at the next one. It's past 6.5. Here's our 6.5 there. It is, pardon? Oh, sure, you bet. The next one we see is past the 6.5. So I know I'm starting with a 6 decimal something. So now I look and count how many increments is it after. It's 2 after the 5, so that would be 6.7. Now I got to times it by 10. So that would be 67 millimeters. Okay, so you find your 6.7, and then we're going to times it by 10 to get millimeters, because this is a centimeter ruler. Same as the next one. Same thing. It's a centimeter ruler. So I find out the number's just past 10.5. And again, it's 2 notches past 10.5. So that would be 10.7 times that sucker by 10. And that's going to give us 107 millimeters. Okay. The next one, I got to find out where he is. There he is. So he's right by the 3. He just passed the 3, and now I got to count how far past. He's 1, 2, 3 past the 3. So this guy would be a 3 decimal 3. That's for centimeters. We got to times him by 10 to give us 33 millimeters. Okay, so 3.3 we times by 10. And now we're going to be looking at the centimeter ruler. Well, again, now it's centimeters. So since this one tells me centimeters, I do not need to times by 10 for this next one. So on the next one, I literally got to find out where it is. That's all. So on my next one, I draw my vertical line where he's at. Okay, he's past 4.5. He's 2 past. So that would be 4.7 centimeters. This time our answer is our answer. We don't have to times by 10. Okay, we're going to take a look at the very next one. Same idea. This one lands right in the middle. Right in the middle between two numbers is going to be 0.5. So this is 7.5 centimeters. Here we go. Next one. Right after the 5. It's 1 notch after the 5. That's going to be a 5.1 centimeter. The next one, same idea. It's 1 notch past the 8. So he'll be an 8.1 centimeter. Turn your page. Lots of measuring. Now we're going to what's called a half inch. A half inch. Well, first of all, we need to know a few things about inches. So we're going to write a note to ourselves up here. Inches are divided into 8 pieces. Whoops, pieces or sections. Pieces, sections, or increments. So just like the millimeter or centimeter, the centimeter one was divided into 10. This guy's going to be divided into 8. That's the difference. So this one we talk about eighths. Okay, so that's what we talk about. 8 THS, eighths. So what I mean by that, I'm just going to zoom in real quick. What that is between 0 and 1, there's going to be 8 steps. So I would take 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice 4 is the long one. 5, 6, 7, 8. You're at your next number. So instead of 5 being the middle, now 4 is the middle. Okay? So now our bottom number is not going to be out of 10. It'll be out of 8. So now we're going to draw how much we have. So this one, I'm just going to zoom out again. So this guy ran right past the 2, but he ended up halfway. So this guy we would write as 2.5 inches. Well, half of an inch gives us this. 2 and 4 out of 8, which equals 2 and 1/2. So you need to make your whole number. Your whole number is the large number. Your fraction is going to be out of 8. Okay? So 2.5 inches. Notice the top number is not a 5. It would be a 5 if it was out of 10. But for inches, half of 8 is 4. So that's the difference. So now we're going to look at the very next question. This guy here is in a half again. So this would be 1.5 inches. So that means he's going to be 1 and 4 out of 8, which is 1 and 1/2. So 4 out of 8, what that means is I'm starting at the number 1 and I'm adding 4 steps. It takes me 4 steps to get to my edge. Okay, that's what it's telling me. Same thing here. I'm at the 4 to get to my very end of my line. Right there. It took me 4 steps. Whoa. So that's going to be 4 and 4 out of 8. And we know that 4 out of 8 is always going to give us 1/2. So 4 and 1/2. If you understand that 4 out of 8 equals 1/2, you don't got to show me the 4 out of 8 part. You can skip and do the 1/2. Okay, so this part right here, 4 out of 8, you can skip that part if you want, if you understand that it just means 1/2. Okay, the next one is exactly 3. This guy lands on 3. So this guy is exactly 3 inches. Alrighty, the next one. So this guy ended right there. What is the number in front of him though? It's 87. So this guy's going to be 87 and 1/2 because he's 4 out of 8. Do you notice how now it's got those other little teeny increments? Because what they've done is they've divided each of those bigger ones in half. What happens if we times 8 by 2? What do we get? 16. So when you're talking inches, you might notice in shop class or when you're measuring, they'll talk in sixteenths as well. What that means is it's a higher rounding. It means that you're closer to an end. It's more accurate. All right. The next one. The number it runs past is the 65. It's exactly at 1/2. So 65 and 1/2. We don't have to show the 4 over 8, or it would be 8 out of 16. Okay, the next question, it runs past the number 53. So we will have 53 and 1/2. The next one goes past the number 35. So we're going to start with a big 35 and again 1/2. The next one run past the number 90. 90 and 1/2. Turn your page. I told you this would be so hard. This is like our hardest unit. Yes. I'm teasing. It should be your easiest one. You should be able to ace this one. Ace it and get way, way awesomeness. Awesomeness. Awesome, awesome. Okay, now we're going to go to a 1/4 of an inch. Now, quarters, that's like this, just like time. So this would be 1 out of 4, 2 out of 4, 3 out of 4, and 4 out of 4. 4 out of 4 means you've reached your whole number. It's a new whole number. 1 out of 4 is the same thing as saying 2 out of 8, because remember, inches are out of eighths. This is going to be 4 out of 8. This would be 6 out of 8. And again, 8 out of 8. These are the inches. Okay, that's how inches are divided. So now we're going to a 1/4 of an inch. So what that means is I'm counting how many spots after the number 4 I go now. So now I literally count the lines, and that guy is 2 out of 8. So what does 2 out of 8 give me on the inside? What does my 2 out of 8 show me? 1 out of 4. So this is going to be 4 and 1 out of 4, because 2 out of 8 is equal to 1 out of 4. So we always have to reduce our fractions. Okay, fractions must be reduced. Now, if you don't know how to do it, your calculator will, and I'll show you how. It's super easy. All you do, top divide bottom, second PRB. This PRB, it's under the delete button right here. Or DRG, it's under the degree button. And it's super slick. I'll show you how if you're not sure. All right, the next one. Well, if I don't even have, I'm starting at 0 here. So if I'm starting at 0, that means I have no big number in front. So now I got to count how far I went. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's my middle. 5, 6. So I am exactly 6 out of 8. So what does 6 out of 8 show me in my circle? What's the number in the circle? 6 out of 8. 3 out of 4. Good job. So we put 3 out of 4. We always reduce fractions. Always. And like I said, the calculator will do it for you. You just have to know what buttons to push. All right, the next one. He runs past the number 4. So I know I'm going to have a big number 4. And he's past the number 4, but how far? Well, 5, 6. So this guy's going to be a 6 out of 8. What does 6 out of 8 become? We just wrote it above. 3 over 4. So he becomes a 4 and 3 out of 4. Okay, so a 4 and 3 out of 4. All right, the next number. He runs past the number 5. And now he is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They like the number 6 lately. 6 out of 8 equals 3 out of 4. That's going to start getting to be a real, hopefully easier for you. 6 out of 8, 3 out of 4. Okay, next one, same thing. Well, here's my number 4. There's a 5. There's a 6. We hit 6 out of 8 again. And this time we start with the number 2 in front. Okay, my 6 out of 8 turns into what? 3 out of 4. Okay, my 6 out of 8 becomes 3 out of 4. This guy, 1, 2. This is a 2 out of 8. Let's look at our top. What does 2 out of 8 become? 1 out of 4. So this guy becomes a 1 out of 4. The number in front of him, 64, and 1 out of 4. So you always have to write the number in front of him. That's your big number. Okay, and your 2 out of 8 became the 1 out of 4. All right, here we've got the number 44 in front, doubles. All righty, I like the number 44. Oh, stop it, machine. Okay, how many spaces do I have to run past? Now, when you've got this big one right here, this guy right here, so I'm just going to show you between the two numbers. This guy here would be a 1, 2, 3, 4 is really long, 5, 6, 7, 8 gets you to your next number. Now, the numbers in between there, these are the ones where I call 16. This would be 1 out of 16, 2 out of 16, 3 out of 16, 4 out of 16, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of 16, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 out of 16. Basically, just times the top number by 2, you'll get it. Okay? So, whatever the number is out of 16, we're not going to get that detailed, but you're going to see those little numbers in between there. We're not going to worry about those. We want the ones that are out of 8. So you find the ones that are out of 8. So that's the pink ones I've divided. So that means this guy is 2 out of 8, which becomes our 1 out of 4. Okay, so the 2 out of 8 became a 1 out of 4. Mikey, do you have your notes? Yeah? Okay, perfect. I just didn't see them. All right, so the next one, we're going to go right there. And the number he passes is 67. So 67 is my big number. And now I got to find out how far he ran. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is my long one. 5, 6, another 6 out of 8. And 6 out of 8 becomes 3 out of 4. We're always reducing our fractions. All right, this guy here, he runs past the number 76. And I know I'm going to have a fraction. This guy, how far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Another 6 out of 8, becoming 3 out of 4. All right, last one on this page. The number 14 is the guy he passed. And there's the middle point, 4, 5, 6. Another 6 out of 8. That becomes 3 out of 4. Okay, so always reduce your fractions. Yeah, I know we've got lots. There's lots of pictures. All right, turn your page for the next picture. I know, it's lots of pictures. Okay, now this one, it wants to go to the nearest eighth of an inch. So if it's to the nearest eighth of an inch, that means we're going by each of those 1 notches now. Each increment is a 1. So again, on the first one, I'm starting at 0 here. So that's a 0. Oh, that's in the wrong spot. All right, right there. So I've gone 1, 2, 3. I've got to the 3. So this guy is 3 out of 8. It doesn't have a big number in front because the big number in front is a 0. So we don't ever write 0 in 3 out of 8. We just write 3 out of 8. Okay? This guy, same thing. 0 is where we're starting. He's 1 notch to the end. Well, 1 notch to the end will be 7 out of 8. Okay, this guy is 1 past the 3. So this guy's starting with a 3 and a 1 out of 8. He's 1 step past. 1 step out of 8 steps. Okay, this guy passes the number 2. And how many steps is he? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. So he's 5 out of 8. That's what that tells us. Okay, the next one, it's a 4. And we count the steps again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps after. So that's a 5 out of 8. All right, these ones are divided into 16ths. We don't want the 16, we want the number out of 8. So this guy here is a 1 out of 8. So he's going to be a 53 and 1 out of 8. Always find the guy in the middle if you're not sure. Here's my guy in the middle. Well, my thing there is half. He's over the middle. He's over halfway. So he's 1 notch over halfway. So that would be 5 out of 8 because middle is 4 out of 8. So I've got a 73 and then a 5 out of 8. Don't forget that number in front. All right. Those of you that I gave the notes answer keys to, it didn't have this stuff filled in. You guys got to fill this stuff in. It didn't have it filled in for you. Yeah. Yep. Okay, so number 25. This guy is going to pass the number 25, and then we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He is also 5 steps, 5 out of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, another 5 steps. So 27 and 5 steps out of 8. Last one on this page. If this is the number 14 here, what's the number back here? 13. So our big number is going to be a 13. He hasn't passed the number 14 yet. So you have to know which number. So 13 is the one he passed. And he is now 1, 2, 3, 4 is the middle, 5, 6, 7. He's 7 steps away. So 7 out of 8. All right. Now the next page is taking all of these, and now it's not going to tell us. We have to be specific. Now they're divided into 8s again. So now we have to divide them into 8s. So when we do that, we're literally counting the number of ticks after. We're counting the increments. All right. Always start with your whole number. Which one did they run past? Well, this guy ran past the 5. This guy is exactly 5. So you could do this guy one way. So you could do it this way, or 4 and 8 out of 8. Well, 8 out of 8 would be 1. And 4 and 1 make 5, okay? So you would never show me the part I've circled. You'd never show me that. You would always round up the 8 over 8 to a 1, okay? So it's going to add to your 4. All right. The first one here, how many spots after? 1, 2, 3, 4. He is 5 steps after. So 5 out of 8 steps. Now remember, we have to reduce our fractions. So certain fractions reduce. It's the ones that are even. So 2 out of 8, 4 out of 8, and 6 out of 8. Those 3 will always reduce. The others will not. So 2 out of 8 becomes 1/4. 4 out of 8 is 1/2. And 6 out of 8 is 3/4. So those are the ones that you have to know that are standard. You will always reduce to them. And again, if you're not sure how to reduce, I'll show you on the calculator. It'll do it for you. Okay, number 3 here. He is a 3, and if you notice, you can count backwards. He's 1 step backwards from the other number. Well, if he's 1 step back, 8 minus 1 is a 7. So he's 7 out of 8 steps getting towards the number 4. So he's 1 step away from the number 4. We would say 3 7/8. All right, the next one, we have a big 5 and now a 1, 2, 3, a 3 out of 8. The next one, we start with a great big grandioso 2. And we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is a 6 out of 8, which reduces to 3 out of 4. We always reduce. The next one passes the number 50, and he's one notch before 51. One step before is 7 out of 8. One step in front is always 7 out of 8. Oh, it stopped showing you, did it? Okay, I will recast. Just give me a sec here. Okay, moving on. This guy passed the number 30. Me too. This is a number 4, 5, 6. So 6 out of 8 becomes 3 out of 4. So the biggest thing you have to remember is when you're measuring inches, the total is out of 8. When you're measuring in metric, the total will be out of 10. That's the difference. This guy starts with the big number 10, and he's one notch after it. So that would be 1 out of 8. This guy, 7, 3 is the number he passes, and he's 2 steps after. Well, 2 out of 8 becomes 1 out of 4. Reduce that fraction always. Last question on this page, we have a 6, 6, and he's right in the middle, which is 1/2, because that would be 4 out of 8. 4 out of 8 is 1/2. All right. Turn your page. Yes. Hopefully it'll go quickly now. Okay. Okay, take a look. Now I'm going to show you how to do it if you've got both of those lined up together. If you've got them lined up together, it's actually pretty easy to figure out what the conversion is. We're going to learn in the next lessons how to convert back and forth. But if we've got a ruler sitting on top of a different kind of ruler, this is our centimeter ruler, and this is our inch ruler. Okay? So what we do is we're going to find the number we're looking for, and then we're going to draw a line straight up and down. So this one says 1 and 1 out of 8. So here's my 1, and this guy here is 1 out of 8. That's my number. So now I'm going to draw straight up from there, and I'm going to see the number I get to. I think I went a little bit left. I think I went a little bit crooked there. So you would have your number coming up right there. Should be around 2.8, 2.9. Okay, we should get 2.9 centimeters. 2.9 centimeters. So all we did was we found the number on the bottom and we drew a line straight up. That's all we did. We found the number and drew a line straight up. Okay, that's all we did. Okay, we're going to do the same thing with the number 3 over 4. 3 over 4, that's 6 out of 8. So that means I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's my 6 out of 8. So 6 out of 8 gives me about that. So that would be about a 1.9 centimeters. You could round it to a 2. It looks like I kind of went left a bit. 1.9 or 2 centimeters. I would accept both, especially if it's like where you have 2 rulers, because you will get a question like this on a quiz coming up. So I will accept both depending on how close the numbers are. Okay, the next one, 3 and 5 over 8. So we're going to find the number 3. This is 0.4. Here's 5 over 8. So 5 over 8. Now I'm going to draw the line straight up. I'm going to get about a 9.2. Okay, I draw really crooked, don't I? Between a 9.2 and a 9.3. In there somewheres. Okay, we're going to do the guys right across. Okay, I'm just going to erase those so that we have more room. Okay. So now I'm going to do 3 and 1 over 8. I'm going to do those 3 so we can see them. So 3 and 1 over 8. So 3 and 1 over 8 lands right there. I'm going to take a ruler and draw straight up. If I take a ruler and draw straight up, you should get about a 7.9. about a 7.9. Now, when we do the bottom of this page, we're going to be working from the top ruler and going down. So that's the difference. So now 5 inches exactly. So 5 inches exactly, I'm going to find my 5 inches and go straight up. So I'm going to get about a 12.7-ish, 12.7 around there. 4 and 3 over 8. 4 and 3 over 8. Well, here's our 4 over 8. Here's 3 over 8. It's about an 11.1. Around there somewhere. All right, the last two. 3 and 7 out of 8. So 3 and 7 out of 8, that's right here, right before the 4. Well, that's going to give me about a 9.8, actually a 9.7 to 9.8. I just draw really bad. I curve to the right a bit. 9.7, 9.8, 9.9 in there somewhere. Now look at 4 and 3 over 4. So find your 4, and this is our 3 over 4. Oh, we already did that one. Did we do that one already? Nope. 4 and 3 over 4. Okay. Did I? Yep. 4 and 3 out of 4. That's about 11.1. Oh, 3 over 8 and 3 out of 4. 3 out of 4 is 6 out of 8. So I'm looking for the 6 out of 8. Here's 6 out of 8. That's going to give me an exact 12. Okay, because 3 out of 4 is 6 out of 8. Remember, the rulers are divided into 8 pieces. Okay, has everybody done the top? We're going to jump down to the bottom. Okay, now on the bottom, we're starting on the top ruler, and we're going to work our way down. Okay, so 0.3. That means there's no number in front. I just go 3 notches after my decimal, or after the digit. So 3 notches after is about right there. That's my first notch, which means it would be 1 out of 8. Okay, 1 centimeter exactly. Find your 1 centimeter and draw straight down. That's a 3. He'd be about 3 out of 8. This guy, we're going to make him the number 3.3. We're going to make this guy a 3.3. Otherwise, he's identical to the top one. So 3.3, where do we find him? 3.3 is going to be about right there. So we're going to come straight down. We end up at 1 over 4, 2 over 4, or 2 over 8. So we get about 1 and 2 out of 8, which would be about 1 and a quarter, around there. 2 out of 8 or 3 out of 8 would be okay. The bottom one, 5.1. So we want 5.1. I'm going to find 5.1 right here and come straight down. That's going to give me the number 2 for 2 inches. 2 to 2 1/8, depending. Okay, the number 6 centimeters. 6 centimeters is going to come straight down right there. So I need to count 1, 2, 3 steps after the 2. So the 2 and 3 steps after the 2. 2 and 3 out of 8. 12.4. My 12, there's 0.5, go right in front of it. Well, that guy is 1 notch right before the 5. Well, they counted out of 8, so that number would be a 7 out of 8, and the digit would be a 4 in front. Because it doesn't make it to the 5 yet, it's going to be a 4. The number hasn't made it to a 5 yet. All right, the digit 1.3 on the left-hand side. I'm going to find 1.3 and come straight down. And that's going to give me 4 out of 8, which is roughly 1/2. And then I need the number 10.8. So I'm going to find 10 and 2 notches before the 11, and I'm going to come straight down. Well, that's 2 steps out of 8. 2 steps out of 8 means 1 out of 4. So 4 and 1 out of 4. You always have to reduce. Okay, so reducing your fractions always. This concludes lesson 1.